Happy Saturday. I want to hop on here today and talk a little bit about manifestation and the nervous system. Because yesterday after my live, I heard from many of you in the DMs and also in comments on previous videos and reels that I had done. You were asking questions about how does the nervous system really work when it comes to manifesting or feeling into what I call the frequency of resonance. How does it all make sense? And so I wanted to come on today and I wanted to talk a little bit about how it happens and how it all makes sense, because I think that there are a lot of people out there, and I don't really like the term manifestation. I really believe that we're always in the space of manifestation. Whatever is in your current reality right now is a reflection of your nervous system. It is a reflection of the identity that you have chosen and the frequency that you continue to choose in a moment-to-moment basis. And I want to break this down in a way where you can understand that your reality is a reflection of your frequency, and your frequency is a reflection of your nervous system. And I want to give it to you in a way that's super tangible, that you can actually understand it. I dive deep into this in my Manifest Your Dream relationship training and also in my miracle training on the nuances of how your nervous system really does drive the things that you desire in your life. And many people look at manifestation incorrectly. A lot of manifestation teachers teach manifestation incorrectly. Not incorrectly, they're just missing a really key component to what actually makes manifestation work. And so that's what I'm going live about today. I'm going to talk all about how your nervous system truly does drive your ability to be a creative being. And I saw something the other day when I was doing, I do a lot of studies around the quantum field. I look at quantum physics and it just fascinates me. And part of my research and part of my study has truly been, how does the nervous system drive our ability to create? How does our nervous system drive our ability to manifest new identities and manifest new things in our lives? And I have been putting a lot of these principles into play in my own life, which is why I have manifested really beautiful things, really wonderful things that I've always desired, but I couldn't figure out how to get them to come in, because I was in a lot of my studies in my early years, my first couple of years of getting into coaching and getting into the personal development field, I was following what all of the other manifestation gurus were telling me to do, and it wasn't working. Like I would be able to manifest things in, but I couldn't keep them, right? They wouldn't stay. And I realized that the missing piece after I did my, somatic therapy training was the nervous system. A lot of people don't understand how to speak that language to be able to not only attract the things they desire, but keep the things that come in. And the thing is if you can kind of conceptualize this thought, if a desire is put on your heart, so if you have a vision or if you have a thought that is given to you, it means that somewhere on your timeline in the quantum field, it's already yours. You have been given that vision, that thought, that idea, because it is what your soul desires. It is truly deeply meant for you. And if you can really conceptualize that it's already yours, then your job is to be able to feel into the frequency of it as much as possible so that it can manifest in physical form. And when you truly can embody that, then you can start to work on, okay, well, how do I continue to stay in that frequency? So I want to break this down in really simple terms when it comes to manifestation in the nervous system, okay? Your reality is a reflection of your most predominant frequency, which means whatever frequency you have been feeling into the most, that is what is in your current reality right now. So if you desire something that's not currently in your reality, you need to understand that that reality is a different frequency, which means it requires a different identity of you. The woman or the man that is right here, right now, has certain thoughts, beliefs, actions, and feelings that are all in alignment with the identity you're living in this current moment. So if this is where you are and this is where you want to go, the first thing that you have to understand with manifestation is, what is the identity of this man, of this woman who has the things that you desire that's not currently existing in the identity that you're in now? And that is oftentimes really difficult for people to identify. One of the things that I get the most in my practice is, I don't know. Like, I don't know what I want. And if you don't know what you want, chances are your nervous system is acting out of this state of survival. It never actually felt safe for you to slow down and know how to listen to what your soul desires, to listen to what your heart wants. Because so many of us grew up in society, we grew up in situations where other people told us what we should want, or maybe we did desire certain things when we were at a young age, but it wasn't safe. We were told we couldn't desire those things, and we were shut down the ability to honor ourselves, to know we are worthy of receiving whatever it is that we desire. And so these subconscious beliefs, these dysregulated nervous system patterns become familiar. They become normal. And we start to feel into them because it's the only thing that we learned as a child. So when it comes to manifestation, there are two steps. The first step is to get really clear on what it is that you desire. And that's where most people get stuck, right? They get stuck in step 1 and step 2. But the first place they get stuck is really being able to honor what it is that their heart and their soul desires. So if that is you, there is some sort of dysregulated nervous system pattern that's coming in, and it's repeating in the background that you're not actually worthy of the things that you want. And so chances are you're going into a complete freeze, shutdown state, and it doesn't actually feel safe to dream. It doesn't feel safe to know. It doesn't feel safe to trust. So that is the first space that you need to look at when you're looking at manifestation. Can I actually claim what it is that I desire? Do I have the ability to trust that what is meant for me is meant for me? And if the answer to that is no, that's where you start. That's where you get curious. How can I start to regulate this sense of survival inside of my nervous system so that I can have true safety, true ease, true peace in claiming what I know is meant for me, right? That's the first step that most people get stuck on. The second part of manifestation and how it relates to the nervous system, where people get stuck. So let's say that you did the work, and this is what I teach inside of my programs. You've done the work to get clear on what you desire, okay? You have a full body knowing. You understand how the quantum field works. You understand the language of your nervous system, so much so that you can trust the desires that are given to you. Okay, that's step 1. The next step is to understand that in order to have the things that you desire after you get crystal clear, you have to identify the identity of that woman or man that has the thing that you desire. And you have to be able to feel into the frequency of that identity as much as possible in order for the timeline to collapse. Because if this is where you are and this is where you want to go, there's a gap. All right? And there is an identity and a frequency associated with the version of you now. There is also an identity and a frequency associated with the identity of the person that you want to be, the things that you desire. And there's a gap in between, okay? So if you're not able to feel into the frequency of this new identity, you're going to stay stuck in the things that you're currently calling in. Because again, the universe responds to your most predominant frequency. Your frequency, now here's the kicker, is determined by how safe you feel in your nervous system. And this is the part of nervous system and manifestation work that I have been deeply studying over the past couple of years, right? Because most manifestation teachers will teach you, visualize what you desire, say your affirmations, show up in the energy of that thing every single day. But the problem with this is that if your nervous system has a familiar pattern associated with survival, it will feel absolutely impossible for you to feel into the new identity of the things that you desire, which is why you probably have said to yourself, manifestation doesn't work. The law of resonance doesn't work. The law of attraction doesn't work. Because you've been showing up, you've been saying your affirmations, you've been doing your daily rants, you've been trying to feel into the frequency of what it is you desire, but your nervous system doesn't actually feel safe claiming that reality. This is why nervous system work is so important. To know the language of your nervous system and to be able to say, this is the identity of the woman who has these things. These are her thoughts, these are her beliefs, these are her feelings, these are her actions. And to be able to feel into the frequency of that identity, even though it's not where you currently are, that takes massive nervous system mastery. Because there is something that happens in the gap, all right? When you're in a current identity and you want to shift to a new identity, you have to feel into something that's not currently yours. And if you don't have the nervous system awareness to be able to feel into that identity, to stay rooted when it feels like things are falling apart, because everything associated with this identity has to fall away. If these things start to fall away and your nervous system is used to operating in a baseline of survival, you're going to freak the heck out and you're going to choose this old identity because that's what feels most familiar to your nervous system. So most of the work that I do with the women I serve, right? People are like, I don't understand how doing nervous system work can equate to manifesting really big things in your life. More wealth, deeper abundance, greater health, loving relationships. The way that it works is that when you work with your nervous system to know safety, to know peace, to know ease, to know worth, to know enoughness, and that becomes your primary frequency, that becomes your baseline, then when you choose new identities for yourself, because this will be an ongoing process throughout your entire life, you are able to stay rooted in peace and safety and ease when things are happening around you. Even when they don't feel good, even when it feels like nothing is working out. Because it's in that moment when you choose the new identity, even when things are falling apart, that you start to close the gap. So one of my favorite analogies, I give this on all of my master classes, is I want you to think about manifestation like dials on a radio station, one of those old radio stations, okay? If you're listening to the country channel and you decide that you want to listen to the rock and roll channel, in between the country channel and the rock and roll channel is a bunch of static. Remember those old radio stations where you used to like turn the knobs and there'd be all that static in between? Your job is to continue to turn that dial towards the new station that you want to listen to. But what happens is that most people have one identity, they're working for another identity, and life happens. The universe responds to your most predominant frequency. Life starts to send you things that were in alignment with your old identity because that was the frequency that you have been vibrating in for a really long time. So let's use the example of attracting toxic partners. Okay, you do the nervous system work, you start to come to safety. Next thing you know, the universe continues to send you toxic partners. It is in that moment that you have to say, I am so committed to my new identity of listening to the rock and roll channel that I have to say no. I have to continue to say no because the universe is sending me things that are in alignment with the old identity. And eventually what happens, because you say no, the universe says, this isn't in alignment with the frequency she's choosing anymore. There's a new frequency that she wants. There's a new frequency that she has decided to have. And it's in that moment when the choosing of the new identity, the gap starts to close and boom, you're matched with reality. You have to believe that it's already yours. But when I say you have to believe it's already yours, you have to know it on a nervous system level, which means your body has to be in alignment with your brain. This is why saying affirmations and sitting in visualization when it comes to manifestation doesn't work if your nervous system can't feel into the identity of the woman or man that has the things that you desire. It's the missing piece. This is how I have been able to manifest really big things in my life. The other day, I posted about my dream car. I manifested a Porsche. Okay, I wanted a Porsche for a really long time. And it had been on my vision board for a long time. And what I do is I like to say, okay, what things are on my vision board? What can I start to tap into? So in my home membership, we were working with embodied wealth last month. And I was saying, let's see what we can manifest from the space of embodied wealth. I want to see what all of us can start to manifest from this space, right? Walk them through the nervous system work. For me, it looked like what were the dysregulated patterns that were showing up that were keeping me in scarcity, in fear, from having the thing that I truly desired, which was this beautiful Porsche that I knew I would feel amazing in. So the first step was I had to start identifying what limiting beliefs, what dysregulated nervous system responses were showing up that were running the show that was making me believe that I couldn't have this thing. I had to start looking at those beliefs within myself. And then I had to start looking at what are the emotions and the sensations that are associated with those beliefs. How does that feel in my body? And I noticed it was very constricting. My body kept feeling like every time I envisioned the Porsche, there was this constriction feeling. So I let myself notice it. I let myself be with it. I let myself regulate that response and get to safety. And then once I was able to feel neutral about the car, right? I was in this space of neutrality. I was then able to say to myself, okay, what is the identity of the woman that has that in her life? Well, the first thing that I said to myself was, I sure as heck wouldn't feel like it was too much. I identified that. I would know that I love beautiful things. I tell everybody that I meet, I love beautiful things. I love to be surrounded by beauty. My apartment is the epitome of beauty. I love to wear beautiful clothes. I love to wear beautiful jewelry. I love to drive a beautiful car. And I started to feel into that identity, right? That is me. I can feel that as my core being of who I am. And I started to look at, okay, what things in my life don't make me feel that way? And I recognized that I was driving a car that I never wanted. I never wanted that car. It never felt in alignment with who I was. I had a Tesla, which was my dream car back then. I sold it, moved to Colorado. And I was told that I needed to get a car that was going to get us up the mountain, that we could load all of our ski gear in, that could get us from A to Z. And it was a beautiful car, right? I had a Kia Sorento, brand new, 2023, blacked out rims. It was a great car. It was beautiful. A lot of people would love it. And I remember driving off the lot that day thinking, I don't want to be in this car. This isn't the car I wanted. I miss my Tesla. I said it when I got home. I was like, I like it, but I miss my Tesla. And so as I started to feel into the identity of the woman who had the Porsche, I recognized what in my life isn't in alignment with that identity. The woman who knows that beauty is her birthright, that she is worthy of really beautiful, wonderful things that make her feel like a wealthy woman, that make her feel alive and vibrant and energetic. What in my life isn't that? And I realized that damn Kia is one of them. I got to get rid of this thing. So for years, I actually forgot about the exact Porsche that I wanted. It was on my vision board, but my vision board has been tucked away because I haven't unpacked everything. And I recognized, okay, this has to go, because if I want, and I wasn't just manifesting the Porsche, I was also manifesting my biggest cash month in my business. I was manifesting a lot of things to do with the next version of me that I desired. And so I decided that I was going to sell this Kia. And I shit you not, I go to the dealership and I said, I just want to know what you can give me for this car. I don't know what I want yet, but I just know that I need to get rid of it. And the salesman at the dealership came to me and said, I have a car you might want to see. And sure enough, as soon as he showed it to me, I recognized this is it. This is the dream car I've always wanted. This is the Porsche that's on my vision board, which is insanity, right? But it was because I had been feeling into the frequency of what it was like. I was eliminating things that were all in alignment with the old identity. I also had my biggest cash month in my business last month, which was insane. I also, this is nuts, a couple years ago, I had misplaced my grandmother's wedding ring. She gave it to me. And this is the second time I had misplaced it. The first time I had misplaced it, it randomly appeared at a time in my life where I really needed it to appear. And this weekend, my mom came in. She's like, you're never going to believe this. We haven't been able to find the ring for years. She was like, I have been looking for that ring for 2 years. I have opened my jewelry box so many times. And I opened it this past week and grandma's ring was there. I have it back. So many of these things that I've been wanting for myself were coming in, and it was because I was dedicated to truly knowing the language of my nervous system. And I knew how to feel into the frequency of the identity of the woman that didn't have these things, right? Many people would say, okay, I can't sell the Kia. I can't have the Porsche because it doesn't make logical sense yet. The thing about manifestation, when you truly understand it from the lens of the nervous system, is that when you already know that it's a desire that's put on your heart for a reason because there's a soul-centered intention behind it, it's already yours. So it is your job to feel into the frequency of the identity of the woman that has that thing. Most people can't do that because they're so wrapped up in scarcity and fear and limitations inside of their nervous system that it feels absolutely impossible to see things that aren't in their current reality. The work I teach is rooted in science, and it's also rooted in delusion. It doesn't really make sense on paper, but when you start to experience it and you understand that everything is a reflection of your nervous system and how safe you feel to claim the things that you desire for yourself, things start to come in with ease. This is why women inside of my home membership this month, we had women manifesting thousands of dollars. People were getting checks in the mail. One woman received $5,000 out of nowhere. A woman had a visceral feeling that her dream car was coming to her, and 2 days later, it landed in her lap. I have women who have manifested healthy men. Like, I don't even go on dates with men anymore that aren't what I desire fully, that aren't healthy, that aren't dedicated to the life that I desire for myself. And it's all because I am so committed to the identity of the woman that has those things, even when it's not in my current reality yet, that eventually the universe matches that frequency. I can stay in that frequency even though it's not here, and the timeline collapses. This beautiful apartment is a beautiful example of that. This ring is an example of that. Everything in my life has been a reflection of this learning. And this is what I teach inside of my programs. This is what I teach inside of the collective. This is what I teach inside of home. The first step, we've got to look at your nervous system. We have to understand where your nervous system is choosing scarcity and survival and patterns of protection over safety, ease, abundance, worthiness, and patterns of connection. We've got to get clear on it because your nervous system will hijack your ability to manifest. It will keep you in the same loops, dating the same types of men, having the same patterns show up when it comes to money. Money comes in, money leaves. Everything is a reflection of what's happening inside of your nervous system and whether your nervous system is choosing protection or connection. So that's the first thing we do. We got to look at it. We've got to get to the bottom of where your nervous system is choosing survival over safety. Then we do the work to shift those patterns of dysregulation so that your nervous system starts to become more familiar with safety versus scarcity. Connection over survival. We do this through somatic experiencing, somatic therapy, my relational somatic technique, so that you can become a master of your own nervous system and understand when it's choosing scarcity over safety. And it's not that dysregulation and patterns of fight and flight and freeze and fawn are bad, because we need that. We need to feel those activated responses in our system to get us away from threat. But when we're constantly in threat, when threat is inhibiting our ability to manifest the things we desire, then we get ourselves in trouble. We don't have the things that we truly want for ourselves, like abundance, love, health. Okay, so we've got to look at the nervous system. We've got to get you to a baseline of safety. And then we can get clear on the identity of the woman or man who has the things that you desire. Because once you find safety, then you can get clear on what is in your quantum field, what is meant for you, what you desire, what your soul was put on this earth to do and receive. And when you can get clear on that, and you can get clear on the identity of the woman or the man that has those things, Then the next step is to start feeling into the frequency of that identity as much as possible until the timeline collapses and bam, you land in the new reality. But it all comes down to your ability to know your nervous system, because so many people try to manifest cognitively, but they don't know how to manifest in the body. Their nervous system is running the show. And even though this up here is saying, I want these things are meant for me. I am abundant. Money flows to me with ease. Love is easy. I am lovable. Even though that you're saying that verbally, if your nervous system is saying, yeah, right. Remember that one time when you were in 6th grade and that boy rejected you, and then it happened again in 7th and again in 8th grade? Remember that? You can't have love. You can't have money. What are you talking about? Your nervous system starts to play these patterns of survival underneath what you're verbally saying out loud. And this is hijacking this. None of this shit matters because your nervous system is still in scarcity. It's still in survival. So until you learn the language of your nervous system, manifestation is going to be impossible for you. The relationship of your dreams is going to be impossible for you. The money that you want to make in your business, the money that you want to make in your life, the generational wealth that you want to build, the vibrant health that you desire, it's all going to feel impossible. You're going to sabotage it because your nervous system is running the show. So we have to learn the language of our nervous system in order to manifest the things we desire. This is what I teach. This is what I teach inside of home. It's what I teach inside of the collective. Okay, if you want in-depth support, you want to move quickly, you come into the collective. There are 2 calls a week. You get a lot of time with me. You also get access to my aligned attraction framework, which teaches you step by step how to do this. In home, you get access to my Master Your Nervous System mini course. It's a little bit of a slower, more titrated community, right? Where you have if you come into the collective, you get access to home. But if you want really deep, in-depth support with me, come into the collective. Both of these is where I teach you how to know the language of your nervous system so that you can manifest. That's why it's so important to do this work. So I wanted to explain that. Hopefully, I've been seeing some comments. People are like, yes, this makes sense. So drop in the comments if this makes sense. Like, does it make sense how the nervous system runs the show when it comes to manifesting the life you desire? I want to know. Let me know. Let's see what kind of questions I had here. Yeah, someone said science and delusion. That's me, right? I should get t-shirts made that say, I'm all about the science and I'm all about the delusion, because it's true, right? Someone asked, where does the ego come into play when transitioning identities? Well, your ego is attached to survival responses inside of your system. So if you are in this space, right, of not knowing how to connect to your truth, your ego is running the show. Your ego is running the show because it's based in survival. You have created, your ego is compromised of all of your survival responses that have developed to keep you safe. So if you desire something and it's not coming in, I want you to think less about ego and more about what survival responses are running the show, because your survival responses are your ego. It is the adaptation that your nervous system has created to keep yourself safe. So we have to dismantle those dysregulated responses. We have to honor them because it's really brilliant that your body went there, really brilliant, but it's keeping you from the things that you want now. So your ego is survival responses in the nervous system. Fantastic question. All right. I'm like so bad at being able to read these comments. All right. If you have other comments or questions, drop them in the comment box. After this video is done, I will answer them. If you're interested in coming into home, drop the word home below this video. I will send you the link to join. If you're interested in coming into the collective, which is my more in-depth container of working with me twice a week, you have to apply for that program. It is application only. I'm super selective with the women I allow inside. Drop the word ALC underneath this video and I will send you the link to apply for the program. I'd love to have you inside. I want to teach you how to do this. I want to teach you how to become a master of your nervous system so that you can manifest the things that you desire. You can have the life you want. I have a beautiful life. I love my freaking life. I'm literally riding around the world in my dream car. living in my dream condo. This place is a freaking dream. Look at this. You guys, look at my view. Do you see this? Look. Heaven. Heaven, heaven. There's the Batman building. You're in Nashville, right? This is it. That's my view. I manifested this. It came to me in a vision, and I knew the identity of the woman that had this in her life. So I'll teach you exactly how to do it. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow.